Kylian Mbappe has written to PSG. He has said he will not extend his contract past 2024. They do have an option to make it to 2025, but that does not look like it's going to happen. Of course, if we cast our minds back to last summer, he was given the keys to the kingdom. He was given whatever he wanted, essentially. Basically, whatever he wanted, whoever he wanted to come into the club, he had final say. And within a year, it looks like it's all broken down once again. Joining me is Stu, of course, PSG ultra fan.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. Again, it's the same House of Cards Netflix TV show of the summer. So it's not really surprising. Here we go again, as Fabrizio Romano says. Unfortunately, it's just the same thing over and over again. Not really surprising. What I'm surprised by, though, is that this letter that they're mentioning has not been released in the French medias. So I assume that it's a strategy from the Mbappe family, maybe to renegotiate his contract. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised when as an institution you behave like PSG has behaved, which is not as an institution, but as you said, I think it's a bit too much mentioning giving the keys to the kingdom. But it was a bit like this. Obviously, he asked for guarantees for not going to Real Madrid and staying at PSG. They probably promised him some stuff that they haven't delivered. He needed some players around him, and they brought Galtier as a gaffer that is now no longer a PSG gaffer with a 6 million redundancy package that now is gone. You have they brought Carlos Soler, Fabian Ruiz. Come on, that is poor quality players that they brought as well. But I also have the impression that from an individual perspective, seeing and watching Haaland doing the treble as well is a little reminder that if he stays at PSG, he's going to be late. He's going to be late. He needs to move somewhere else. So obviously, football is all about it's a team sport, but it's the most individualist sport ever. So he's thinking about his Ballon d'Or. He's thinking about his Champions League, etc. And by the look of it, it does not look like it's going to happen with PSG. So at one point, he needs to move.
Yeah, I think that's where it's heading. I mean, if as expected, as we mentioned, Mbappe does not trigger that year extension, he can basically sign a pre-contract agreement with a club outside of France in January.
Exactly.
Of course, there is the small topic of a fee, because obviously PSG will not want to let Mbappe go on a free.
Of course.
So I guess they are more inclined to sell him this summer. So realistically, we all know that Mbappe has constantly been linked with Madrid. Obviously, Karim Benzema has now moved on. But they are going to be bringing in Jude Bellingham. They're going to be spending a lot of money on that transfer. So what does this mean for Mbappe then?
So that means for Mbappe that I hope personally, I love the player. He's done brilliantly with us. There's no hard feelings whatsoever. He should have probably went to Real Madrid 2 years ago. But I think now Real Madrid is in a position to sign him. They have obviously the finances, they have everything. It's just a matter of now Vinicius Junior has a massive place at Real Madrid, and it's a matter of kind of loyalty towards Vinicius as well, because if they bring Real Madrid, Mbappe at Real Madrid, then it will be direct competition for Vinicius as well. I'm not really paying a lot of attention to Bellingham because I think they can play together, but it's more the Vinicius situation, to be fair. Again, I think it's a perfect opportunity for Real Madrid. I've seen in the press recently that Florentino Perez, the president of Real Madrid, answered the question around Kylian Mbappe, saying that it's going to happen, but it's not going to happen this season. But it was before Mbappe. I think he will be on the transfer list this summer, and I hope the club PSG will put him on the transfer list, because now it's definitely time to behave as an institution. So if the player is, sorry about my French, taking the piss for too long, then he needs to go. He needs to go. I'm sorry, he needs to go.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I just wanted to read you something actually. So the deadline for him to basically send this letter was the 31st of July. So another 7 weeks away. And if he hadn't have sent the letter or not, it was basically an automatic non-renewal. So
yes,
it's quite odd that he's made this statement so early on, just a few days after Manchester City winning the Champions League as well.
Yeah.
And I guess it's really kind of putting the foot down, saying, "I want to leave. I do not want to be there." It's a very big statement for him to do that. And I think in his mind, it means that he probably won't be returning to PSG. But we did touch on Real Madrid there. But of course, there has been interest, obviously, from the Premier League. Liverpool have been linked with him again.
Hmm.
I think it might be someone that is out of their potential price bracket. But Chelsea, Manchester City, Manchester United, they'll all be on high alert for Mbappe, won't they?
Well, again, I think if he joins the Premier League, it will be like a dream choice for him and also for the league because it will be a direct competition between him and Haaland, and I think he will attract even more people to watch the Premier League.
Mm,
I think he has more to achieve with a Premier League club than Real Madrid because Real Madrid has won anything and has nothing to prove in football anymore. So it will be I'd say a too easy choice for him to go to Real Madrid, even if it's his dream club. If I was Mbappe, I would probably go for a Premier League club. So it will be more attractive than it is already,
mm.
and to have a direct competition with Erling Haaland and everything is everyone is expecting this. Everyone wants this. From a neutral perspective, if you're not supporting any Premier League club, you see Erling Haaland against Mbappe in the Premier League. Imagine if he's joining Man United as well. The rivalry between City and United.
Oh
Again,
yeah.
I think he has loads of things to achieve somewhere else. And I think PSG, the state of the club at the moment, is impeaching him from achieving his personal targets. So at one point, yeah, I think he needs to go. I think he needs to go, and the club needs to take some money out of the deal. There's no way he can leave on a free. If they do that, then it will be shameful from the club.
Yeah. Um, as we just mentioned, you mentioned Manchester United as being an option there. Out of
Yeah.
kind of any Premier League club, which one do you think would be the best fit for Mbappe?
If you think of what's happening at the moment with the bids around Man United and the fact that Qatar is involved as well in the bids, and if Qatar is taking over Man United, I definitely see him joining Man United. It will make a lot
Mm,
of sense. Obviously, with the rivalry with Man City and Erling Haaland, etc., I think it will be a dream scenario for everyone, every football fan,
yeah,
objectively. But yeah, no, Liverpool is fine. They might need him to refresh their success, but yeah, I've seen recently that even the PSG president is involved in the talks with the Qatari investors in taking over Man United as well. Just a little reminder: Qatar was always interested in Man United in the first place. PSG has always been a second choice.
mm,
What I'm afraid of as a PSG fan is that we PSG will become a B/reserve club of Qatar. So all the Man United rejects, they will send them to PSG.
mm,
So I see it coming like big time. And so if that's the case, and if Qatar and the PSG investors are also involved in the Man United takeover, they take Neymar with them, they take Mbappe with them, then they need to go. They need to
yeah.
go. I don't want to be a B team of Qatar.
No, that's not what you want. And obviously, it's a conversation for another day, a bigger conversation about the way that PSG is run and the constant chopping and changing of managers. But we would be here all day if we spoke about that. It has been understood that Chelsea will not enter the race for Mbappe.
Okay.
So that rules out a potential reunion with his previous manager, Pochettino, at Chelsea.
Hmm.
Potential for him to join up with Saliba at Arsenal, Henri legacy. I mean, I think it might be a stretch, but
Remember, Saliba played for Marseille and he loves Marseille. So I know they are playing together in the French national team, but I don't think they are the players that are the closest in the French national team squad.
mm,
So I don't see Saliba doing some kind of, if that's what you're referring to, some kind of lobbying to make him sign at Arsenal. I don't think it's going to work.
yeah.
The French heritage of Arsenal can be an influence, but I don't see him joining Arsenal. No, not
Yeah,
at all.
I agree. Potentially a swap deal with Harry Kane? That could be on the cards?
Why not? Why not? To be fair, I'll take Harry Kane at PSG. I'm not a massive fan of the player, but he's the type of player that still needs to prove at a trophy level. He hasn't won trophies, so we need players that are starving for trophies and desperately needs to prove. Still needs to prove. So I will definitely take Harry Kane. Yeah.
He is starving, let me tell you. He's absolutely starving. All right. Well, thank you so much, Drew, for joining us. I'm sure there's going to be so much more
Pleasure.
with this saga as the summer
Yeah,
rolls on. We're just getting
just the
started.
beginning. Yeah.
Thanks so much. And of course, we'll keep you up to date with all the latest transfer news right here on DR Sports.